I'd like to call the meeting of the City of LaPorte Sustainability Commission to order and ask that possibly our council person can lead us in the pledge. He's pretty close. Oh, pretty good reactions. Guess we'll do roll call, and I'll do it the simple way. I'll look who's here. Tucker King,
Present.
Zach King,
Present.
Jeff.
Here.
Yeah, good there. Fonda.
Here.
Don. And Lauren.
Here.
Here. And Don Dotson, I think you guys, most of you met him at the last meeting. He's now an official member of the commission, and we welcome you, Don. Thank you for coming. Tucker's prepared an agenda. He's got old business, so Tucker, we've got an item, internal sustainability auditing. What did you?
So I think that our intention was to continue with the utilities here. Due to us having this, I guess we'll call it the holiday meeting, between the two holidays. It was hard to line up everyone's schedule for this meeting. So I think we're going to try to get Tim Werner on our next one from water.
Okay.
And I've spoken with David Heinold, the city planner, about meeting to talk about bicycles, trails, and what we're planning for sustainability in the future.
Well, let's see if, we can get one at the first meeting and one at the second, and if there's, we'll kind of go by how their schedules are, I guess. But I spoke with Tim some, and I think he was double booked today, so he said next year, so.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Todd, so your thought there is get one of them for the January meeting and one for the February?
Yes.
Okay.
I thought that was helpful. Jerry did a great job, I think, and he made a high standard for everybody else to follow.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, I talked to the mayor about Jerry and what he had to say, and that is certainly something I would like to expand on. I was incredibly impressed and definitely did not know all of that was possible to create energy, so I think that could certainly be something.
And I think it's, Ty's more familiar with the energy project than Tucker, but I think we're going to be generating more power, and kind of it gives you thoughts that if every community could kind of create an amount of power similar to what they use in some fashion,
Yeah.
things would be more reliable.
No, I think that for resiliency is the term that they throw around in the industry a lot, but I think sustainability, resiliency, kind of the same thing. I mean, if you think sustainable, what do we need to produce to sustain ourselves into the future? I think power generation is kind of a no-brainer when it comes to utilities in particular. I think the next thing, I want to expand on our EV stuff, or not EV, solar panel stuff, but I would really like to look at power storage or battery storage in the future.
Yes,
as well.
and sometimes it's generators, for us to we have to have a pretty responsive source, but we'll have to look into what similar battery infrastructure we would need that would do the same jobs that the generators or where our water supplies and plants are. They do it, but if there's a way to get to the batteries to do that, that would be something to explore.
Yeah, that's my intention. Recently I've been looking into how other communities have handled it, and in places where they set your rates and there's high rate, low rate, and they set your rates at the beginning of the year or during December during high usage or whatever, there's communities whose utilities save, a couple $1,000s a month just by having a battery storage unit that allows them to take their usage down in that month when they set that rate for the year or whatever. I don't know if NIPSCO's model is like that. I need to learn more about it. But yeah, I think there's a lot of potential, and that tax credit that we got for the solar panel field or the 2 solar panel fields we're doing for water is done for solar panels, but battery storage and some other units that can help with that are still able to get a 30% rebate. So I think battery storage is definitely something to look at, especially like you're saying for generators where we need something when power goes off to keep things flowing.
Some areas are sensitive enough that if you can have battery storage, that you don't have to have any fuels or anything on site, and that's, the fuel spills are a real risk to the water supply.
Yeah, actually, Caterpillar makes this battery storage bank that I've been looking at a little bit recently, and I saw they had a 6 megawatt site. It's essentially, it looked like 6 shipping containers. So each shipping container held a megawatt worth of power, essentially. And it looked like it took up a space no larger than the NIPSCO station on A Street over there.
Okay.
So who knows what the future looks like?
Could be part of our future. So we've kind of hit this, what's next on that, on the department head meeting, so charging stations. Do you have any recommendations on our new business here? I know, with respect to charging stations, I guess, I did send a request to Tesla via their form, but I haven't heard back yet. So I know Ty has some connections too, so hopefully between those we can get a response and see, because I think an ideal location, you know, one of the locations I put in was Indiana Toll Road, because it would make sense to have some up at maybe the commuter lot or whatever up near the toll road, but then we really need some in the heart of the downtown. So hopefully we can find a good site. Have you explored any sites or concepts? Has anybody got any ideas where you think charging stations would be acceptable and helpful locations?
Well, I know we just took over the second parking lot there between Monroe, or along Monroe between Lincoln Way and State. So, I mean, we have a lot of free public parking right there that we have a lot of energy infrastructure in for the ice skating rink, for the lights and other things we run downtown. It seems like it would probably fit pretty well and has access to the electricity. I also know that the library, if I remember correctly, installed some the infrastructure to take a charger, but they did not get a charger, if I remember correctly.
Right. So we have capability.
Oh.
Sorry. We have the ability to install 1 or 2. We just didn't do it because we were trying to figure out like which type we would get. So it seems like I've been in talks with the architect about exactly what was left undone. So it's not a lot. You just got to decide what you're going to go with and that sort of thing. So
Yeah.
I think the downtown where you mentioned, like where the ice skating is, that's ideal because it's right in that core cluster of restaurants, so people can get that charge in a pretty quick manner with the high-speed chargers, and it seems like that would make a lot of sense. Zach?
I was thinking around the YMCA here would also be another good location.
Or wherever the YCA may happen to be in the YMCA in the near future.
Yeah.
Well, and just a shout out for Mark Schreiber. Mark Schreiber is always looking to incorporate green infrastructure, and I'm sure charging stations fit into that. Parks are the only place we have charging stations currently, so I'm sure Mark would love for us to figure out an update to that, and it would allow people to enjoy our parks while they're getting a quick charge or whatever.
Where do they have chargers at the park?
So we have Kessling Park, Civic Auditorium. Oh, I guess we have one at the water department now that I'm thinking about it.
It needs to move. It's not the fast charge, but I don't know how long it does take.
Yeah, they're, from my understanding, quite a while. And the Plaza 618, which is right downtown here. Actually, now that I think about it, I don't think that's park property. I think that's controlled by planning. But regardless, 2 parks, 2 not parks.
Right, and I think those are pretty slow by the amount of time I see a vehicle parked.
Yeah.
The one vehicle's there.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure we can find real suitable locations, and with some of the growth expected, it's going to be a natural fit, I think. Are there any new business items?
So
Go ahead, Zach.
we've just mentioned 4 locations. What are the next steps for continuing to move forward with EV chargers?
I would say one more, see if I get a response to the request I made.
Yep.
And then have Ty maybe go through his connections, because that's the business they're in, electric and sustainability and solar and all that. So hopefully, you know, I might have taken, you know, more of the citizen request form that I found and used that, so maybe it might take a collectible letter that we would compose or something from the city, I would think, to get their hands.
I guess the question from my perspective, is gonna be funding, obviously. So the question in particular is, are we looking to fund this and maintain it as an asset ourselves, or are we looking for a community partner to pay for it? And those are two separate things, right? ChargePoint came from a grant that we received from NERC almost 10 years ago, I think now. And it was an asset that we did not have a budget set for to maintain into the future, and now we don't have good charging stations, right? So regardless of which route we take, I just want to make sure we're thinking about what the long-term maintenance of that asset looks like. I think there are pros and cons both ways. Having control of them and being able to work on them is good, but it also requires a lot of investment in having someone who can do that with, you know, the technical knowledge and skill and ability to do it safely. So I think I would rely on you guys to help me set the tone as to what we want for the future. And then we don't have a budget item for it next year. We already did budgets for next year, and I don't think we have a budget item currently. That doesn't mean that grant funding isn't available or some other funds that we can appropriate for it, but if it's something that we intend to create as an asset and maintain as an asset, it's something that we're going to have to work with the council to create a budget for. So I think the next step, I guess, to answer your question, Zach, would be let's make a decision, let's come up with a game plan as to what we want to do.
So, just a question, because I was just doing a quick search, and it looks like it's your lowest cost install for a Tesla charging station is $100,000 plus. So that's pretty,
It's a little over our budget.
a little bit over.
Yes.
So anyway, it's pretty expensive endeavor, and so trying to figure out like who's going to pay that. But is there any consideration for having stations in, or there's different options? I don't know enough about the different options to know what would be appropriate or not. But for any new housing developments would install.
That's something I think we've talked about actually in
Like,
previous meetings.
Apartment you know, if you've got a 300 unit
Development.
planned, couldn't that possibly be a part of what's talked about in that development?
Yeah. So, I think this is, so I set a new business item, 2026 goal setting. It was kind of just a general term because there's a lot of things that I would like to talk about for our future. One of those things is creating code here in the city, policy that we get approved by the board or by the city council that states something to the effect of when a developer signs an agreement, if it's above X amount of dollars investment, there needs to be a certain amount that's kicked back into a sustainable initiative, maybe. I mean, I'm just spitballing an idea, but I don't see why we couldn't. I mean, there's requirements on how many parking spaces you have to have, depending on how many units you have, right? So if we can get as granular as the amount of lumens a light can shine at your neighbor's house, why can't we have something that says if you're going to invest this amount into housing and you're going to have this many people living here, they should also have access to infrastructure that can help them charge a car.
So I like that idea. I just think I would do by like the number of units.
Yeah.
Because, houses are so
Yeah.
for every, 25 houses, you need to have a charging unit. I think that's a really good idea.
Yeah.
Even on top of that, all the new construction with parking lots and everything, if they have over so many square feet, parking lot or some of the strip malls and everything, and the infrastructure, when they're doing the parking lots, they could add to run the lines, and the city would have to come up with something to force that into open areas, or big lots, but
Yeah, no, but it makes sense to do it on the front end when the ground is open and there's not concrete or asphalt over it already.
Yeah.
For example, Aldi, I think, is a lot that could afford at least one charger, right? I mean, people spend 30, 45 minutes in Aldi looking at stuff. It's a large enough parking lot. You could have one stall that's also a charging stall, you know? I mean, I'm saying for scale, like if we're looking at scale of development, I'm not saying our Aldi in particular needs to do that.
So I wonder if that's something we could do in general for any new development, whether it be commercial, retail, residential.
Yeah.
Because I think even speaking from a business perspective, if I develop, let's just say, a TJ Maxx, and I put charging stations, maybe I wasn't gonna go to TJ Maxx, but I need to charge my car, so while it's charging, I'm gonna go inside and shop. Like, maybe that's
Yeah.
kind of like a business model.
Well, and I think especially in our community, there is such a dearth of charging stations that it could be economically advantageous for a business to have a charging station because it allows them, you know, their it creates customers essentially, like you're saying, yes.
Well, when you see a strip mall development, as we have, not Newport Landing as much as the existing
Yes,
mall, you know, Myers, I think they've got about 10 of them out along there, and they're all Tesla. I was suspected that maybe Tesla put those in, but whether Myers paid for them or not, but I think there's close to, looks like 10 or 12 of them there.
yeah, and it seems like they're always full whenever I go there.
Yeah.
I mean-
So it would be a good,
It's good
yeah, I think it's a good
business.
business to have them,
It's a
yeah.
good business for some
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if,
retail developments.
I wonder if, you know, we're talking about a national home builder here working on, possibly on 39 Lennar. You just wonder if they've encountered that ask or request before,
Oh, I'm sure,
or has had some integration of
yeah.
some charging stations into the development.
Yeah, I think that's one thing. I know that we don't have a legal counsel here, but I mean, legal counsel usually has the ability to look up policies that other municipalities have picked up in the past. Maybe it's something we could approach Nick about and say, would you be able to find us other municipalities that have found or have created policies, and see if there's a policy that's already written that we could kind of adapt for our own functions.
It may be reconnecting with NERC even about that idea. We got these grants 10 years ago and did a few.
Yeah.
I think that's whole thing is probably advanced at that, you know, at their
Yeah,
integration, their thinking, their granting, and maybe there's you know, something there that we haven't tapped yet.
I don't have enough experience with NERC to be able to tell you, but from the little experience I have, it seems like they have their money planned out pretty far in advance. So I don't know, I mean, but they also get access to grant opportunities that we don't always see. They're a pass-through grantor in many cases for projects. I'm pretty sure that's how the ChargePoint thing came about, is they were a pass-through grantor for an electric charging capability. So, yeah, I mean, definitely a good group to approach, because they've dealt with it probably a lot in Lake and Porter County, I would think.
Well, that sounds like we can get a pretty good start on it. Maybe it's at the first of the year, and you know, doing a little Google searching and maybe see, because in the home builder, maybe we can get some ideas how to go forward. Next order says do business, and one of them is 2026 goal setting. Do you think we should all come to the next meeting with our thoughts on?
Yeah, so I didn't give you guys a heads up that I was going to put this on here, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I put it on there because there's things that, like this policy thing we just talked about, that I would like to discuss and kind of get a direction on. My question to you guys, I guess, would be, do we want to say, I mean, since you guys haven't had a lot of time to think or come up with anything formally, would you want to set it as, hey, the following meeting, which will be January, the fourth Tuesday in January, or third Tuesday in January, I can't remember what we set now. Fourth, yeah. At that meeting, can we come with a list of things that we are going to accomplish this year, or we want to accomplish this year? That's up to you guys. So I just put it on there because I thought it would be good to at least open the discussion.
And we could dedicate that first meeting to this kind of activity, the goal setting, you know, have some thoughts in order, and everybody bring something to the table, or what.
Yeah. Well, I know we have to do reorganization.
Yeah, as well as appointments.
Yeah. Yes, appointments and reorg.
Same thing.
Yeah, whatever. So, well, I think reaffirmation for those who come back next year, if you want to come back. Then appointments, and then, yeah, we could do goal setting. I know we wanted to talk to Tim next meeting potentially, so if we say next meeting is going to be a goal setting meeting, maybe we postpone that until the February and push David off till March then?
Yeah, we could do that, or we could try to make 50% of the meeting for the,
Yeah,
maybe hear the presentation first, or from the department head, and then try to get half an hour or something towards putting our agenda together for the
So
year.
we've talked about a lot of things this year, and I think it's just my opinion, working on the EVs and then making sure the tree planting is set and completed, I think should be our top priorities before we make additions to what we would like to do. I know
Yeah.
the mayor has really narrowed in on me and said, I want you to get the things that you have planned done. Like, it's great talking and with
Right.
great ideas and lists, but we need a little bit more action before we add more to the plate.
yeah, that's fair.
And some of the things can always be a little bit of a given, like we'll help the water department or wastewater or something if they have ideas and we can get behind them. Maybe just add a little to that. But yeah, I think we gotta have some actionable items that we complete.
So, can't remember how long I've been on the commission. 2 years?
Yes.
Something like that. So at the beginning of all of that, there was the report that was being done, and am I remembering correctly that we were supposed to sort of like hone in on that and present something for the city to like officially endorse or adopt, or
I think we attempted to get that going.
is that still a goal? Because I think, that document has a lot in it. That could be used as sort of a framework, or is that, you think, gone by the wayside just because of how
It's felt like it's
numerous
gone by the
things have
wayside.
changed?
Yeah.
It, and I don't know that we ever got did it ever go to the final stage? Because we had the pre-final and then it had to get signed and
Yeah.
sent to, and then,
Don't know.
I will confirm that we have a final document.
okay.
That being said, I think that we, at one point, attempted this year to talk about that, and I don't think it ever really took off. I don't know if that's just due to how much other stuff we were trying to do at the time. To Lauren's point, I think that if we can show that we're making headway on the EV charging plan, let's say, as well as the, I shouldn't say the tree planting's set. Like, we're gonna, that's happening.
Do you have any additional information on the tree planting? I think last time we discussed, you had just said like end of winter, like December.
We intended to do a fall planting this year, but with the way the weather worked out, it just didn't happen. So it's gonna be a spring planting. The funds are appropriated for it, they're set aside. We've already discussed, our arborist has a plan together for the most part. I want Nick to sign off on the final plan. I haven't given it to him yet, so it's hard to do that if I don't give it to him. But I will make sure that happens. And to be honest with you, when it comes to the flowering trees, a lot of them do better as a spring planting anyways, from my understanding. Fall plantings are hard. And we haven't done a lot of spring plantings here at the city in the past few years. We intended to do one this last spring, but we lost our grant. But other than that, I think that was the only spring planting we've done in the last 3 years. Most of them have been fall plantings. So the intention for us is the moment the ground unfreezes, it's time to get trees in the ground. And that should align with Arbor Day just fine this year. So yeah, that's the update, I guess. But it is in progress. Actually, I talked about it today. We had a meeting about our fall planting for CDBG trees this year. We just completed that with Slessor's. They're going back and repairing a few. I didn't include trees on this at all, actually, now that I think about it. So we had a conversation about it today, and it seems like everything's ready to go. It's just, we're waiting for weather now.
This is the plan they're talking about, which I don't know, does everybody have this?
I think I've shared it before. I'll share it again. I'll make sure I have a final copy shared with you guys.
Okay, that would be digitally,
Yeah.
and if somebody needs it printed, then we'll get them a printed copy, but I think it would be good to have the latest or final version of the plan. A lot of it's carbon reduction, but I think there's also things that are not bigger that are, and that some of them we're doing, and your engineering department with Nick, and I look at some of these items in here, and it's kind of, some of them have slowly been integrated into what we do, but I think we should definitely find some focus
Yeah,
with this document.
I think sustainability and environmentalism has just become a part of how we think about things in general. Nick is amazing at that. I mean, his master's is in environmental engineering, so sustainable engineering. Yeah, so he's made it so that's just a part of our thought process when it comes to projects. It's something that we're always thinking about. But it would be nice to instantiate that with code or policy. I don't know how you want to say that, but just to formalize it and make sure that that's something that we can lean on when we try to hold people accountable to different things. I mean, holding people accountable sounds wrong. We're not punishing people. We want to foster sustainability. We don't want to
Right.
force people to be sustainable.
I want to include it in their thought process when things are happening.
Yes. Yeah. So I think that along with this document, I think it is a good idea for us to review the finalized version and determine whether or not we want to take everything to the council, or if there's things that we could remove, strip down, add. I think there's a lot of things we could add that aren't in there. I'm sure there's not a whole lot about EV charging stations there. Or, I don't know, I to be honest with you, I've only skimmed it. It happened while I was coming into the department, and it was never a priority. So, if you guys want to make that a priority, I think it's a great idea.
I think it's, some of the things are things we can do, and a lot of the things are things that we have to encourage others to do, because we don't really have control of their budgets or their activities, especially the private sector. But if there are things we can integrate into our development standards that are reasonable and don't
Yeah.
aren't budget breakers, then we should probably push
Well,
for those to be.
And to that end, I guess one thing we're working on that you guys haven't taken part in yet, but you guys will take part in next year, is our comprehensive plan. I know that they want to talk with the Sustainability Commission to start talking about some of these things, what they would like, suggestions that they would like to make as a part of the comprehensive plan for a sustainable future. Along with that comprehensive plan, we're also looking at doing zoning changes, and I think if we're going to do zoning changes, that's the time when we need to include, I mean, we need to have something like this ready for suggestions as to how we can change our zoning to be more sustainable in the future. So, I mean, all the things we're talking about right now is the time to kind of have that conversation so that when we are asked our thoughts, we have a good answer.
So actually, my question sort of derives from attending the zoning education meeting last week. Like, it's helping me connect some dots
Yeah.
between zoning, sustainability, housing developments, commercial development, like, and I can see how that, like, comes together with something that we could suggest, so if that makes sense to everybody. That I would encourage, if the slide deck becomes available for the zoning education, like, that was excellent and very informative. Like, it's a lot of stuff that I had never thought of in terms of what a community can do and how you address certain issues that relates to some of the stuff. I mean, like, it's, yeah, it was a good meeting. A
So,
lot of information to absorb.
for my information, is this new, like new zoning plan, or create a new zoning?
So a comprehensive plan is essentially like a steering document for the
Right.
city for the next
So the
20
city's
years.
gonna do a new one next year?
Yeah, so we're already in the process of doing it now. I think it'll be released next year, at some point. I don't know when. I'm not in planning, so I don't know.
Right.
But as a part of that, we're looking at, it's a mix of a comprehensive master plan and a transportation plan. Nick wanted to make sure that we were getting a transportation plan included with that so that we could update our model and talk about some of the changes that we need to make to our transportation network in the future. But I mean, we're also talking about utilities, we're talking about pretty much anything that affects the life of the city for the next 20 years, which is pretty much everything we do.
It's like one of the sections is government operations, so there's several things in there about
Yeah.
energy and everything, and I think some of those things we are doing, but maybe we need to put them all together here,
Well, and getting them in something like, or helping to get them put into our comprehensive plan is a way that we can create a document that we refer to often when it comes to decision making. I think like having it in the comprehensive plan is going to do more than having a separate plan. I mean, how many
Yes.
plans do we have right now?
Right.
A lot of people complain that we have planning fatigue. And so it's hard to refer to every single separate document when you were trying to make a decision. If we can have this as a part of our comprehensive plan, it boils down to everyone looks at this document for guidance, and sustainability is at the heart of that. So that's my thought.
I think we can effectively narrow this down to the
Oh, yeah.
doable, to the things that we can,
Yeah, there's a lot in
long-term and
there
short-term, and so.
Yeah.
Could go and
Yeah.
just streamline it down so that we all know what it means, and other people who haven't read it before can also make sense of what the goals are.
Yes, that sounds good. Anybody have anything to add? What else do we have here?
So I guess just to wrap up the 2026
Yeah.
goal setting. As of right now, our goals are to accomplish the two main tasks that we've been talking about as old business, which is coming up with an electrical vehicle charging station plan, and incorporate that in some way into our long-term planning and asset management program. And then our second, the planting, I didn't include that in old business this week because I didn't really have a great update for it, I'll be honest, is to have a successful spring tree planting for the, I think we called it I can't remember the name of the trail we were calling it. Well, it's along the Clear Lake Loop. It's the flowering dogwoods. I forgot.
Some Blossom Trail or?
Yeah, I can't. We came up with a good name. I got it in my notes somewhere. For the Rotary Club, and then to host an event as the ribbon cutter for
I would
that.
say, do a subcategory of the tree planting and then like an Arbor Day event like we've
Yeah.
been discussing, so
Yes.
2.5.
Yes. So I think those are the two big goals, and then the third goal for 2026, as of right now, is to really dig into that study, strip out what we don't want, add what we do want, and use that as a way to move forward. I guess is that a good way to state it, summarize it?
I would say so. I think those are all things that we've kind of got ongoing or we're working on, and I think they'll do well. I think integrating the department heads, we have to continue that, and I think we should try to get either Tim or David. Maybe it's better with David since he's
With planning, yeah, I
planning
mean,
might be a good starter after Jerry's, so that
yeah,
we have a feel for what his thoughts are on these things, and then
yeah,
we obviously want to be an advocate for the things the water is trying to do. They're trying to add new supply right now, and hopefully they'll have that online by next summer.
yeah,
We got to support things like that. Tim, when we talked, they really need they need to redo their committee, the
Wellhead Protection
Wellhead
Committee.
Protection Committee or something, and it's possible that they may just use this body to serve in that role so that we're involved in the sustainability issues for water.
Is that have to do with Devon, wellhead protection?
Stormwater is involved with wellhead protection for sure.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
with her being on the commission, she could,
I don't, yes, as a staff liaison, she is a great person to have
Yes,
that discussion with.
because you don't want to discharge, when we're groundwater supported, you don't want drainage water coming from the wrong thing into your watershed where you're getting your water supply. And
Yeah.
so I think that's where we can. Yeah.
Yeah, I think internal sustainability auditing is something that we need to continue with. I think David next is a great idea, just so we can kind of also talk about the potential for getting more input on the comp plan. Tim, I think, is also a great choice. And then I think Mark Schreiber probably next after that.
Excellent too, because they have a lot of ground.
Yeah. Well, and maybe by then we'll have some more movement on the EV charging station stuff, and we can have a real discussion about how we can incorporate that into the parks. So, awesome. I like that. Yeah.
Let's try to do that, and we need to think about change of officers, reorganization, I don't know,
Yeah.
You've been in a lot of volunteer organizations, that changes kind of regular, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It should be yearly, I think.
Yeah.
I think we intended to do it last year, and it just fell down the back burner.
What positions
Really?
need to be established?
So we have a chair, a vice chair, and a secretary. I don't think that the vice position really adds much other than they run the meeting when the chair is not here, but I feel like the secretary could probably do that too if they wanted to. I don't think we necessarily need a vice chair. I'll have to look back at our document, our I forgot the charter, I think it is, to make sure that we don't need to have a vice chair. I don't know, I don't even know if we have that written out in the document now that I think about it.
I don't either, but I have it in my inbox somewhere. I can
Okay.
find that.
So do we want to take some action at this meeting, or do you think we need to have more, what are we missing here?
Well, I think that we could list our intentions as to what
Okay.
we're looking at next year, but I think we have to vote on it I think it has to be the first meeting next year. I think it has to be the official, I think technically we probably need to put out a public notice, like, hey, we're having I forgot, what do they call that? Reorganization meeting before our regular meeting. So, yeah. Todd, you've indicated you don't want to be the chair any longer.
I don't think I should be.
Yeah.
I think we should turn it over, and I'm not sure that I've done
Yeah.
a good enough job with it. So,
Okay. So,
so maybe people think about this between now and the next meeting if they have any interest in one of these roles.
I can't be. I'm not voting.
Yeah.
I wish. Yeah.
So we got Don and Fonda and me and Zach and Jeff,
Uh,
Ty.
speaking of which, whose commission is up this round? Fonda,
Mine's over, this would be the last meeting unless I'm reappointed.
do you intend to come back?
I did say yes,
Okay,
if,
Well,
awesome.
We relish your,
if that is so desired.
we relish your experience in
Yes.
the many, of course, it's gonna be another meeting you have to go to, but
Yes,
you-
the mayor did call me and asked what I thought about Fonda being reappointed. I said she's terrible. I'm just kidding. I said she's a valuable asset, and I hope she would like to come back.
And as someone who is also on the library board, I will say I love when we work together as government agencies. So having Fonda in that capacity is awesome.
yeah, she has a lot of valuable experience to add, and we appreciate it.
Hey, you gave me a candy bar already, I was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna hold me up.
No, we're just trying to butter you up so you take the chair. No.
Oh.
I think I have one more year. I thought I was done at the end of the year, but Annette told me I was on board.
Yeah, I think we switched it to everyone has 2-year commissions now, just so we don't all end, because it was we had it was written out weird where,
Some were 1, some were 2, some were 3-year commissions.
and they ended up so that the 1 and the 3s were on the same year every year, obviously. And so we were recommissioning people, like 4 people at a time, and then the 2-year people the next year, right? So, yeah.
Hopefully, we're just getting good at things now, so we can really make some stuff happen.
Yeah. I'm confident 26 will be a great year for us.
What are everyone's thoughts on having more commissioners?
This is a conversation I've had.
That's it?
I think that it depends on what we want to accomplish. I mean, I think that we are all very busy, and having more people to spread the load out is great. But at the same time, it also means we have more people to, it's kind of like herding cats, let's be honest. I'm not the greatest at keeping up with everyone already. if we're being completely honest. So,
Yes, but I would also say, in my 2 years on this commission,
yes,
I can't remember a meeting where everyone has shown up.
yeah,
Which is a struggle.
Yes.
So I guess from both perspectives, that would be more people to not show up, but then
Yeah.
again, if we add more people, we're not putting the commission in a position where we can't vote on something, or we can't, because like you said, everyone's busy, I
Yeah.
get it, it's not a critical statement.
yeah.
So
No,
I
we've
would
definitely
not be
canceled meetings
opposed
because
to
people
it.
haven't come, yeah.
Yeah, my hope adding commissioners would be that we can continue to have effective conversations even when people don't show up, because their absence is less felt.
And-
Yeah.
Felt
But
less, however you say
to
that.
actually vote on anything, the larger the commission gets, the bigger your majority has to be to vote. So it doesn't really, you know, like, we could vote on something right now with 4 people, right, because there's 7? Is that
Yeah, we
correct?
could
I think
There's
there's only
7?
6.
So if you went
Yeah.
larger than that, then your majority also becomes larger.
Yes,
So it doesn't alleviate the ability to vote on something. You couldn't, if you have 9 people, you can't vote if you only have 4.
yeah.
So that's just something to keep in mind.
Yeah, the thing I think would be useful for having more people, obviously, we've talked about subcommittees in the past. So like actually having the manpower to be able to do a subcommittee is awesome. So that's why like having something like 9 would be great. We could have 3 groups of 3 focused on the projects they like focusing on. And also there's like environmentalism and sustainability have such a large spread that you could have people with different voices. I mean, I think Don's a great addition, for example, because he's like a master gardener almost, right? Like, and I think that's a whole different perspective that we haven't had on the board yet.
So do people have to be on the commission to be on like a subcommittee?
I don't think so.
I would say no, you know.
Yeah.
And the more commissioners we have, like you said, with the voting, I think that could
Yeah.
be plus or negative. It has both. And if we have subcommittees, we can always, they can come to the meetings
Yeah.
and speak about their committees.
Yeah, I mean, these are public meetings, so we could have the public here, that's for sure.
Generally, I'm looking at the group here, has been really a good group for attendance.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the group plus Ty, yeah. Devin. Yeah, she's been very busy recently.
And
I-
is also not a voting member.
Yes, true. The only thing other than expanding our membership, and this is something I talked about today also, that I think would be super useful for us and would help a lot, especially when it comes to the agendas and things, is focusing on getting our student liaison from the high school or whatever. And then we could incorporate their duties as keeping up with our minutes, transcribing our minutes, getting the agendas put together. I think that's a really useful skill for a high school student to get. So I think that maybe pushing to get that student liaison position started up
And they
next
could
year.
even do more like help with planning the Arbor Day
Yeah.
stuff and get them really involved in somebody who's interested in environment or even government.
Yeah, no, both, yes.
What does it
Or
take
either, yeah.
to be a voting member? Is there a reason they couldn't be a voting member?
I mean, I think that we could,
Resident and they're 18 or whatever?
well, I don't even think there's a rule that they have to be 18 to
Right.
be a voting member necessarily. I don't know. I'd have to dig into that.
I would think so only because it's appointed by the mayor, so I would think there's probably some sort of,
Yeah, I don't know.
yeah.
It might be some standing Indiana law that I don't know about, right? So, but we could always amend our charter to allow for them to have a say as a representative in some way, like a school representative. I don't know. I mean, I think it's a great idea.
It might be a good, something that really somebody gets into. I mean, we
Yeah.
find, they get the right person, it might be a great experience for them and for us. Their world, we're leaving them.
Proactively, I just happened to catch on my calendar that I will not be available for the 4th
Tuesday?
Tuesday of January.
The only reason we switched to Tuesdays was because of Lucas. If you guys wanted to switch back to Mondays, I would be fine with that.
If there's a time to do it, the beginning of the year is the time to do it.
Does that
Yeah.
work better? It doesn't make much difference to me, so.
it doesn't really matter, it's more like the week that it is, that I'm not available.
The fourth week of January, you are not available?
Right,
We haven't set our calendar for next year yet.
Right.
So, I mean, we could, sorry, I was checking the time real quick. We could set the first meeting for whenever. You guys just tell me when you want to be here.
I just can't do first and third Monday. I can't do first and third Mondays and first Tuesday of every month. So
Okay.
Monday and Tuesday of week 1 and then Monday of week 3.
I'll defer, I mean, if, and it doesn't matter to me, either one of those dates. The Mondays or Tuesdays work for
Well, let's just start with January, the January meeting, because Fonda won't be able to be here, and I think that if we're gonna do a reorganization meeting, it would be nice to have everyone here.
Yeah.
Do you guys agree on
We
that?
can move it back a week so Fonda can be here for the first meeting.
Yeah,
We could do it,
Third Tuesday?
yeah, we could do it the 6th, I'm sorry, I'm looking at December. The 20th of January.
January 20th?
that's good.
To the best of my knowledge, I have nothing conflicting at this time.
And it's better,
Oh, wait, you know what? I can't, because the day before is Martin Luther King Jr. Day, so council will be pushed
To that Tuesday.
I mean, I could, I would just have to be done by.
Well, they do
Give it a
council
little time
chambers,
to
and
be
we'd all
done.
have to be done.
Right, yeah,
Yes.
I mean, I guess that's what I was trying to convey, is that
Yeah.
we have to be done by, like a quarter till.
Are they, is council at 5,
Council's at 6.
6?
Oh, what am I thinking? I'm thinking this is at 5.
Yeah.
Sorry, my brain.
You're good.
brain
You
rot.
should be done.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea.
Third week, I wouldn't be able to be here for sure.
Okay.
I'll be running a boat show, so I won't be here.
Oh, yeah, no boat show. How does everyone feel about the second week of January?
that'd be the 12th,
13th is
or
the
13th
Tuesday.
for Tuesday, yeah.
I can do either.
You can do either? Okay. Look, I'm
All right,
good right now, but
Yeah.
10-4. So 12th or 13th?
I would say the 13th.
13th?
13th.
January 13th.
Yeah, 12th, I have a doctor's appointment anyway, so I wouldn't be able to be here the 12th.
All right,
Yes.
and that's not too far off, so that works good.
So I think that's one where we would actually want to take a vote on, just,
And then we'll put the rest of the calendar together that week too.
I will have a calendar ready for that
'Cause you can-
meeting.
You know what city holidays and different things are
Yes.
going on, so.
I will ensure that we have a calendar together.
Do we need a vote to make that our date for our next?
I would say
meeting?
so.
All those in favor of January 13th?
Well, no, first, do we have a motion?
Oh, do we have a motion to set the, do we have a motion to set the calendar date?
I motion that we set our next meeting date, January 13th.
I'll second it.
Thank you.
There you go. Thank you, Zach. You're a perfect candidate for this chair.
This is
Discussion
silly.
and a vote.
You just got the chairman job. So everybody's voice vote here. Everybody in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Against? Nay. So the motion carries. We are now meeting on January the 13th at 4 PM. Thank you.
Yeah.
10-4.
Thanks, everybody, for changing that. I'm
You're good?
glad I caught it.
Yeah. Where have you caught it too, Fonda?
And at that meeting, we will have,
So the first meeting that day will be the reorganization meeting.
Okay.
And then we will, once we get done with the reorganization, we will hold our regularly scheduled meeting. So January 13th at 4, reorganization, probably 4:15 for the regular. Reorganization doesn't take long.
I think that would depend on whether or not we have anybody else from the city here. So if we can get David to come, I would put him at the front and then reorg at the back.
Do you think so?
I do?
It's only 15 minutes.
Well, I was saying you could just invite David at 4:15.
Oh, yeah, we could do that too.
Too.
I don't know
Yeah,
How
I think it,
if it works.
I think we have to do reorganization first, at
Okay.
least. That's been my experience, so. Yes. Cool. Jinx.
would there be any other items for our agenda today?
Any announcements?
The announcements, business, further?
I guess if I could make one, I would say I hope everyone has a good holiday, a safe holiday,
Yes, absolutely.
and I look forward to 2026.
Thank you. Do we have a motion?
Indiana
to-
app should be open no later than the 15th.
Is that true?
That's the last I was told for the winter.
Very challenging. So would we need a motion to, do you have something else, Jack?
No, I was gonna motion to adjourn.
Okay. You're the motion man. We have a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
There we go.
Moved and seconded. Anybody, we don't have to vote, do we? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, everybody vote. Those in favor say aye real loud.
Aye.
Aye.
No, any nays? Meeting's adjourned. See, I was just starting to get the hang of it, then I'm gonna get replaced.